Well, I'm here with a legend of East Coast surfing, Peter Pan, and I'm going to start by saying I didn't even know that surfing existed above New York until I ran into this guy. And of course, you're an institution in the Northeast, mate. And tell me a little bit about those early days up there, because like no one knew you guys were surfing up there for so long.
Now they all know, and it's crowded. So I have to drive around before I find a place with nobody out. Well, the only reason I got started was like 1963, and my friend said, if you want to meet girls, let's go on the beach and start surfing. So that's what we did. That's how I started surfing.
Did you meet any girls?
Yeah. Narragansett Town Beach, the worst beach break in the world, in Rhode Island.
I've surfed there.
You know, it's all closed out.
Yeah, I remember I went there on a rusty tour to Warm Winds, to Tom Hogan's place, right?
Our enemy.
Yeah. Hey, we're not enemies. We're all in the biz together.
Yeah, it's fun. You gotta have enemies.
Well, you gotta have competition.
Right. Well, that's the whole thing.
Right. So, you were inducted into the East Coast Surfing Hall of Fame. What did that mean to Pete Pan?
I don't know. I was honored with that. The Hobie team came to Narragansett, and I was surfing for a surf shop, Narragansett Surf Shop, Hobie Shop, in 1967. And the Hobie team came, and I surfed at one of the big contests. I got second. They said, we'll put him on the team. So, you know, I got the jacket and everything else. That's how I started surfing for Hobie in 1967. And I was always connected with Hobie for years. We sold their boards at our shop. Then we opened the watershed. We sold Hobie. We've always sold Hobie. We're still the best Hobie dealer in North. And I wanted to come up. This is when the boards were really designed. You know, they weren't functional for the East Coast, and so I designed that fat slug. First, I told Mickey Munoz, the shape at the time, I said, listen, I got to come up with a board that has got a fat, thick nose on it, like a ride right to the beach for the contest. So we made a couple of them, and then after the fourth shape, Bill Shrosby I finally actually went to California to the Hobie factory, and I had to make the final shape. And we took that one out. I used it at a contest. This is the right board right there, and it was because all the boards at that time, the noses were too thin, they weren't wide enough. And in the East Coast, if you want to keep riding to the beach, you know, at that time, you know, that's how you got scored on. You have to have a board that's going to float you and keep going to the beach. And 90%.
Back in the days when the length of the ride counted, right?
Right. and 90% of the time, the waves stink on a contest, as you already know. So I had a board that we could just, you know, torment the competition on, and it worked out quite well. Still sell a lot of slugs. We sell a lot of slugs, but they sell them all over the place. Yeah. Apparently. Because it's functional. It's not anything to do with contests. It's like you get a board, you get up and stand up and ride it, a wave. That's what people want to do. You know. And like I always tell everybody, well, can it turn? I go, well, if you don't catch a wave, what's the difference if it can turn or not?
So you've been coming to the Surf Expo about as long as anybody.
ESA started the Surf Expo in 1976. Our first Surf Expo was at the Holiday Inn in Virginia Beach. It was snowing out. It was in the middle of the winter, and that was the first Surf Expo. The dock tour is the one who came up with the idea. Then the next year we went to Cocoa Beach to a motel.
What's Surf Expo mean to you?
Now, well, they have a pickleball court. Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything more than that. I have to be dead to do that. I don't even know what it is, but it's like that's obscene. They took the skateboard from the park out for a pickleball court.